If you guys are interested in being a member, then click the join button down below to check out the available perks. The first tier is only $1. Thank you to those of you who choose to join. What's up mod squad, welcome to another Division 2 build breakdown video. Before we get into the video, if you're already subscribed to me, then don't forget to smash that like button, as it really helps push our videos into the recommended section, which in turn helps the channel grow. With the latest news of the Division 2 apparel event and year 3 content being delayed, your support is needed now more than ever. Interaction is a big part of what helps us in the YouTube algorithm, and the extra support is very much appreciated. So help us reach that 500 like goal and drop a comment down below letting me know how you feel about the latest Division 2 content delays. In today's video, I'll showcase the newly buffed Striker gear set, which has made the Striker set way more viable. Previously, the 3-piece was the only reason to use Striker, but with the latest change, the 4-piece is now worth using, as you've seen from the intro clips. The Striker battle gear will no longer lose stacks from missed shots. Stack loss per second has been increased to 2. So this has made it a lot easier to keep stacks up, and you will no longer be punished for missing your shots. I personally believe on top of this they should have increased the damage from 0.5% to 1% per stack. That way Strikers would be on the same level as Hunter's Fury and Negotiator's Dilemma. In this video, I'll be combining one of the highest base damage and most underused assault rifles in the game with the newly buffed Striker gear set, as Strikers is a direct counter to all of this assault rifle's issues. That assault rifle being the black market AK-47. Combining Strikers with the gunner specialization takes that painfully slow RPM of 600 to around 800 RPM, and can give this build a total of 25% weapon handling, making the AK's recoil near non-existent. Now, although Striker stacks are easier to keep, it can take a while to build them up. So to gain them faster, we need to go back to a Division 1 style of play and bring back the good old showstopper. That's right, Striker stacks faster with shotguns, which means the good old days of building up stacks with your showstopper and switching to your primary is back. Today's build is packed full of weapon damage, crit damage and high survivability, allowing this to be both a run and gun and long distance combat build. In fact, this new buff makes Striker a very strong build for doing damage at long range. With a base armor of 1.5 million and being able to stack 40% bonus armor per trophy, this build can easily break 3 million armor, allowing you to tank NPC damage. This build's perfect for all heroic content, whether that's control points, bounties or the summit. If you have any questions, then leave them down in the comment section below. I will also be leaving the TU14 patch notes in the description for those of you who want to see them all. Now we spoke a little bit about the build and I'll showcase some of what it's capable of. Let's get into a quick build breakdown before ending this video with some more gameplay. Right guys, starting off with the specialization, and we are using the gunner. Reason being is it synergizes so well with the rest of our build. This specialization offers DPS, survivability and utility. As you can see, we get the right foam grenade, which is great for both PVE and PvP. If you can funnel enemies and then use this grenade, you will snare a bunch of them, which makes them easier to kill. Up next, killing enemies grants 10% armor. Next, every third reload is 50% faster. That's going to add to DPS. The armor kit on this build gives us 100% armor repair and then 30% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Every specialization has a skill with it that you can unlock, and as you can see is the Banshee Pulse. You can see in the gameplay that is very effective, stuns NPCs, making them easier to kill. This specialization also generates 10% of total ammo capacity every 60 seconds. Which is great if you're a solo player, because you'll find you'll never run out of ammo. If you're not picking it up through NPCs, then this specialization will be replenishing it for you. Up next, rate of fire increased by 5% on kill. This is just going to add to our DPS, helping us kill faster. 50% pulse resistant, that's going to help when you're in a dark zone. And that is pretty much it for the specialization. So with that said, let's move on to the build breakdown. Right guys, getting into the build breakdown, starting off with the primary weapon, and as previously mentioned, we are using the black market AKM or AK-47. This assault rifle has one of the highest base damages in the game, and I'm using it a little bit different. As you can see, I'm using 5% fire rate rather than damage to targets out of cover or armor damage. Now this is preference guys, I just did this to speed up the RPM on this weapon because it is painfully slow. This combined with the 15% from Strikers and then the 5% from the gunner specialization gives it around 800 RPM, which is pretty damn nice for a high base damage weapon. Now the AK is not the only weapon you can use with this build. You can use a FAMAS, you can use the Eagle Bearer, whatever AR is your preference. Looking at the talent on this AK, as you can see, I'm using In Sync. This is just because we can get that extra 30% weapon damage. This build is all about weapon damage. The higher your weapon damage, the higher your crit numbers will be as well. Looking at the attachments, we have the C79 scope. This is going to allow you to zoom in so you can get those real long range kills. This gives us 5% critical hit chance. The magazine gives us the extra 20 rounds. We get negative 10% reload speed, but that's made up thanks to the weapon handling on this build. The grip, or the laser pointer, gives us 5% critical hit chance. And finally, the muzzle gives us 5% crit chance as well. Moving on to the secondary, which is important to this build. You don't have to do this, but it's a quicker way to get your stacks. The ACS-12, or the Showstopper, is going to give you your stacks a lot quicker. Looking at the attachments on this shotgun, we have 5% crit chance on the scope, and we have 5% crit chance on the grip. Looking at the talent, we have Preservation. Killing an enemy repairs 10% armor over 5 seconds. Headshot kills improve the repair by an additional 10%. So you can get 20% armor back over a period of 5 seconds. Now, this won't work if you get the kill and instantly switch this weapon out. You have to keep this weapon out in order to get that armor back, otherwise it will just cut it straight off. Moving on to the sidearm, I'm using the TDI card, or you can use the Orbit pistol for the perfect finisher. Finisher talent is going to give us 30% critical hit chance and 30% critical hit damage for 15 seconds. The perfect version is going to give us 35% critical hit chance and 40% critical hit damage for 15 seconds. Moving on to the gear pieces, starting off with our Striker's Mask, we have 170k armor with 10.3% critical hit damage and 6% crit chance via a mod. Moving on to our Striker's chest piece, which has 15% weapon damage, 4% crit chance and 12% critical hit damage via a mod. And we use it in this chest piece because we get the Press Day advantage, increases max stacks from Striker's Gamble from 50 to 100. Moving on to our Striker's holster, we have 170k armor with 4% critical hit chance. Our Striker gloves have 15% weapon damage and 10.8% critical hit damage. Our knee pads are the named Foxpair knee pads, giving us 170k armor, 8% damage to targets out of cover, so you have that multiplicative damage, and a 5.2% critical hit chance. And finally, the best piece of gear in the game for any solo build, that being the Memento backpack, 15% weapon damage, 170k armor, 1 skill tier, 6% crit chance via a mod, and of course the kill confirmed talent. We're stacking 40% bonus armor for every trophy we're picking up, and an extra 10% weapon damage. We'll gain the passive 30% weapon damage from the long term buff, and we'll also gain 3% armor regen for that passive healing over time. So while you're stacking up your bonus armor, your base armor will be replenished from the armor regen. When it comes to skills on this build, you do not have to use a shield as you will be stacking enough armor. I would go with, say, the Banshee Pulse and the Striker Drone, mainly using the Striker Drone just because it's going to help proc the Instinct talent a lot more often rather than having to constantly put up the shield. But when it comes to skills, it's really just your preference. Moving on to the stat sheet, we have 50% crit chance and 78.1% critical hit damage. This isn't a maxed out build by any means, guys, and like I said, the crit damage is low, but bear in mind, if you want to go for the crit route, you can stack Vindictive with Finisher and gain an extra 60% critical hit damage. But like I said earlier on in the video, the weapon damage is so high on this build, it makes the crit damage numbers a lot higher. Anyway, I'm not going to talk through this whole stat sheet, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy using Strikers. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Don't forget to check out the patch notes. They'll be left in the description below. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Mob Squad.